So, we don't know. All these are too relative.
Yeah. Yes, at the back. I did, neither of us got that.
Mm-hmm. I can see your concern, but I'm not so worried. In fact, in a strange way, I also have so much appreciation towards, let's say, grass. Marijuana? If not for marijuana, many of these Buddhists are not Buddhist. You understand what I mean? So this book that you are talking about, a few Buddhism here and there, they may have served some purpose. And on the top of that, I don't know whether you are a student here. This is what we have discussed this afternoon. It is the institute like this, where you study Buddhism academically, objectively. It's your job to, I think you will have the responsibility to say, hey, this is going a bit too far. To be, critically thinking. And I think that is always nice to have that. And those kind of books, like a little bit of Buddhism here and there, I think for a while it's not going to stop. I think there's a lot of market. As long as there's an insecurity, there's always going to be a spiritual market.
Yes.
Alaya consciousness.
Alaya Vijnana.
Yes, there is. Some of them.
I think the question is just what is the storehouse consciousness or the Alaya Vijnana?
So your question is, what is it? Okay. Okay. Different schools of Buddhism talks about different things. Okay. I will quote, I think it's Lankavatara Sutra. You see, when Buddha was asked this question, you know how Buddha teach? When Buddha taught, many of his teachings are seemingly contradictory. For instance, in big chunks, like the first sermon, the second sermon, and the third sermon, they all seemingly contradictory. And contradiction was never really looked down as something bad. In fact, many times, the language of contradiction is necessary to express certain things. Like in this case, for instance. And I mean, forget about different timing of Buddha's teaching, but even one phrase, I think it's Lankavatara Sutra, Buddha said, Semla, sem machidi, sem jirangini, salvao. In one go, in one line, there's already two contradictions. He said, mind. There is no mind. Mind is luminous. So the first line, he was referring almost, like he's indicating there is something called mind. In the second line, the immediate after that, he's negating the mind. And in the third line, he wasn't really negating, but he was not also asserting. He was describing a luminosity. Now, if you are asking me luminosity, do you have time?
Yeah.
If you do good, you will experience good. If you do bad,
Should I just repeat that? And so I think the question is that many religions work in terms of reward and punishment, right? You do good, you get a reward. You do bad, you get punished. Is Buddhism? Are you asking? Is Buddhism fundamentally different from that?
I think maybe the definition of good and bad may be different with all these different religions, and that's okay. I think this is one thing I want to tell you. This is a little bit beside the point. Everywhere I go, because as a religious person, they all try to sort of tell me, all religions are same in the end or in one essence. Everybody, I don't know, everybody is sort of trying to unite the religion, like United Nations kind of. I think that's not necessary. I think all religions should be separate. Chili is chili, salt is salt, sugar is sugar, you understand? People need different things. I think there's no point of trying to put it together, that they are all same, they're all good. But anyway, to get back to your question, definition of good and bad may be different, again, because of this. In Buddhism, definition of bad and good can be different from other religion. I don't know about other religions so much. But let me quote you a great scholar, Indian scholar, Chandrakirti. He said, it's a very important statement he made. He said, those who are foolish will do bad things and go to hell. Okay? First. Second, he said, those who are foolish will do good and go to heaven. And then the third, he said, those who are wise will go beyond good and bad and go to nirvana. So I guess that maybe is Buddhist aim.
Yes. So the question is, does Amitabha's Pure Land, Amitabha's a Buddha in another land right now, does that land really exist, and is a worship of Amitabha in fact the most efficacious way to Buddha to? Yeah, is Pure Land Buddhism then the fastest way to, easiest way?
Yes. How can I say no? Okay. How can... No. My only suggestion is they should really... Okay, how can I say no? But my only suggestion is they should read the description of the Amitabha realm really thoroughly. Because if they read the description of the Amitabha realm thoroughly, you will end up realizing it's describing, what is it called here? New Haven? Is it? I'm serious. Really, I'm serious. I'm not making this up. So sometimes Buddhists do this, they try to make you think it's there, and then slowly, slowly make you realize it's actually here.
Yeah, the question is, are there films or trends in films that Rinpoche particularly likes? Trends, new directions in films.
I see. Oh, new direction. No, actually, I don't like those new direction films so much because they make me depressed. Because the thing is, they make me feel, wow, I wish I could have done that. You understand? So, I try not to go. Pardon?
It's could I spin off that question? But you have said, I've heard in print, you say Tarkovsky and Sajid Ray and Oza. Well, these are all, they're not the current generation so much that you really seem to take interest in. Do you have any comments on
that? Maybe I'm too traditionalist about these things. I must say, some of the I'm trying to remember. Personally, but a film that makes me personally, I don't know, lose my appetite in a good way, you understand? In a sort of more looking inside. There are few, like Deer Hunter, Robert De Niro, right? That film actually made me really think deeply for a long time, because there's this scene of Russian roulette, like this thrill, this addiction to this thrill, this dangerous game. Actually, that film really made me think a lot and really lost my appetite for about a week, because I just keep on thinking how I myself have a complete potential to have that addiction to this thrill. And this was a little scary. And to me, especially being born and bred in a Buddhist family, to have that kind of even potential to, even thinking, wow, yes, I have that I can have that impulse easily. With the right condition, with a little bit of right friends, I think I can get into it easily.
And is that, might that be related in any way to Nietzsche and a certain kind of nihilistic strand that you actually found attractive in the West?
Yes, exactly. You make a point. Yeah.
Yes.
What is the...
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? Yeah.
What are the essential aspects in your view of Buddhism which could most beneficially be transmitted in the West today by civil or other countries?
Oh, so specific elements in Buddhism that lend themselves to...
Particularly relevant to the times that we live in.
Yeah. So specific elements in Buddhism that are both particularly relevant to our situation today and also particularly amenable to presentation in film.
Maybe cause and effect? I don't know. I can't really say. Cause and effect maybe. is quite important.